Welcome back, guys. It's Derek again. We are back this week for the last NALA, or the North American Latin American regional for the Busheru Springfest, which was held in Mexico. So again, we're going to be covering all three of the formats: Standard, V-Prem, and Prem. And thank you so much for Fuzzy again for providing all these pie charts. And yeah, really quickly, if you guys need any coaching for the upcoming season for BRO or BCS, my Metafy link is down below in the bottom right hand corner. Feel free to book a session with me. And if you guys want to improve on Cardfight Vanguard, that is the first place that I would recommend you guys to go. So feel free to hit me up for a session. And yeah, let's get through to the tops. And now going into the top 8 of Mexico for Standard, we see 6 Magnolia and 5 Prison taking up majority of the pie chart, along with 3 Gravidias and then a splash of everything else. So we can definitely see a huge impact of Magnolia and Prison here in Mexico, and I guess just a bunch of other decks as part of the variety. I'm pretty surprised that I don't actually see very much Kyrie. There's only 1 in the top 8, which I thought would be a bit more impactful upon its release, but it doesn't seem like it's having as much of an impact in the Western side as it is in Japan. So then jumping into the top 4 standings for Standard. Now each team brought a Magnolia, as well as each team brought a Prison. So that automatically indicates how meta-defining Standard is, at least in Mexico anyways, because I think in Indonesia it was very Magnolia Gravidia composed of, but now we see a lot of Magnolia in Prison instead. And obviously one of the 2 Brandgate decks has to take dominance, so here it's Prison, and then obviously in other regions it's Gravidia. And in each of the top slots obviously brought a tertiary deck. So the first place brought Bastion, second place brought Eugene, and if I'm not mistaken, the Eugene is actually some beatdown deck. Third was Clarissa, and then fourth was Bastion. So yeah, nothing really to say here. Magnolia is an insane deck, can draw, it literally doesn't have any weaknesses. When I played it, I had no threats at all. It's just an amazing deck. I'm surprised there's a lot of Prison and not a single Gravidia. I would have thought Gravidia would be in one of these top slots, but I guess people just opted to play more Prison. So congratulations to everyone who topped in Standard. And then jumping into V Premium. V Premium, it's a little bit more diverse here. We see only 4 Bermuda Triangle and 3 Gold Paladin in the top 8, and then just a huge variety of different clans, ranging from Narukami Shadows, Genesis to Gear Chronicle, Murakuma, Nobutama, and then obviously the splash of the rest. Yeah, it's a little bit odd to see that Bermuda Triangle isn't completely dominating, but I guess again the logic kind of applies if you are going into a smaller or more condensed regional, which isn't like others like in Texas or your Cara Expo scale events. Then you see less participants, and if there are less participants, then there are people who would like to play more of their personalized decks more than the meta defining decks. So which is why we see such a low number of Bermuda and Gold here, and then seeing more of a splash in the other clans. And then moving into the top 4, so congratulations to first place, not a single Bermuda and not a single Gold Paladin, at least Gurgit anyways, in the first place team. So the first place brought Night Rose, Vanquisher, and Yasue. Second place was Prism, Raging Form, and an MLB. Third place was Chronojet, Victor, and Fenrir. And then fourth place was Sanctuary Guard, Ezel, and Prism. So a lack of Prisms in top 4, only 2, and then not a single Gurgit, which is pretty bizarre. And like I said, the assumption that this particular regional is a more condensed, a smaller regionals, will bring out a lot of these other players who plays more so their personalized picks than the meta defining picks. So congratulations to everyone who topped here. And then jumping into Premium, 4 Narukamis. That is wild. And the fact that Narukami actually took the top spots and not something like a Grand Blue or a Luar that is very popular against everyone who usually plays premium. I would have expected a huge portion to be Grand Blue, but 4 Narukami's, and then a huge chunk goes to Pale Moon and Grand Blue, and then a bunch goes to Mega Colony, Auto Colony obviously, Aqua Force, and then a bunch others to Novas, DP, Shadows, Gears, and OTT. And I think this is like one of the first, if not one of the very few OTTs that we've seen in any of the top cut distributions amongst all the regions. So congratulations to everyone who top 8'd, and then moving into the top 4. This is pretty wild. So first place team brought a Daihozan, a Dungri, and a Minerva, so Regalia, which is quite wild. Like the Narukami, I would definitely expect a Vanquisher, but yeah, Dungri doing its work, putting in that 17k base is really helpful. But the Daihozan as well, we did see variants of Hanzo, but seeing Daihozan for the first time taking even first place, that is quite surprising. And then second place was Nightmare Doll, Auto Colony, and OTT. This is like a typical lineup that I would definitely be accustomed to see. And then third place was Nightmare Doll, Vanquisher, and Grand Blue. Again, another lineup that is quite common. And then fourth place was Nightmare Doll, Vanquisher, and then a Victor. Victor was very common in Indonesia, and then obviously popping up here as well. But it seems like Mexico really likes their Vanquishers and their Narukami's just overall. First place with Dungri, and then third and fourth with Vanquisher. That is, yeah, pretty wild. And then 3 of the Nightmare Dolls taking second, third, and fourth, and then all 3 Pale Moons converted, which is, yeah, as we expect, one of the best decks, if not the best deck in premium. And then, yeah, only one of the 2 Auto Colonies converted as well. So, yeah, quite amazing. So, congratulations to everybody here. And yeah, that's pretty much a quick recap on Mexico. I think this next week is the last one for the EU region, which is featuring London, and if I'm not mistaken, London is like one of the biggest, if not the biggest, I guess regional event for Europe. So definitely really keen to see what comes out of that. And then obviously we have others such as Vietnam as well coming up, and then obviously the week after we have Australia, which is me and the boys. And then I think Philippines is also next week as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me today. Again, if you guys would like any coaching, any advice, any of that to improve in Vanguard or to prepare for the next series of events, obviously BRO is coming up, and then Worlds is returning in BCS2022. Feel free to hit me up, book a session with me on metafy.gg/@Derek-Dow. The link is below as well as in the description. Feel free to book a session, and if you have any questions prior to even booking a session, and if you are a little bit confused on how the platform works, feel free to hit me up and then I'll be able to help you out. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, let me know down in the comments what you think of everybody who topped over this weekend. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I will see you guys next week for when we cover London, Vietnam, and whichever the other one is. All right, see you guys in the next video. Peace.